trying to get stuff back to normal. But, like, what I mean by normal is that as normal as we're going to get for today, because, as you can still tell, my background is blue. And you'd be like, Edgeworth's supposed to be orange. And you're goddamn right it is supposed to be orange. But I forgot to do that part. So I was just like, well, fuck it. I mean, it's still kind of extra life week because we still have to make up those 3 hours because I got really sick and everything. Yeah, don't worry. That will be happening on Saturday. So, right. So, yes. Again, I want to thank you guys all so much for all the time and all the fun we had on Saturday. It's just like I said, I got sick and I couldn't continue onwards. Actually, hold on. Let's see if we can. Now it has to go get a different link and such, and I'm not in the mood for that. You know? Having to change up what you're doing, and goddamn, why is my... Okay, anyway, so, we're back to normalcy, trying to take it easy, take it chilled. With that being said, let's, investigate a murder! Normalcy means investigating murder. That's what it means. Always means that. It means nothing less. And again, thank you to everybody who subscribed, everybody who followed, everybody who everybody who donated, and quite frankly, anybody who was just there during Extra Life this year. It was insane. By the way, I was going to make it a channel point reward. Hello there, Michisaki Shin. I'm sorry, I'm really bad at usernames. So, I was gonna say something. Okay, Shin. Oh, okay, yeah, Shin is fine. Okay, I'm not gonna remember that probably, and try to butcher the first part so many more times. Well, that makes sense, right? I guess so. I'm really bad with just these names in general, anyways. But what I was trying to say is, I have made a faulty decision. I have made maybe a regrettable decision that the wheel of incentives that was started on Extra Life. I don't have it on this page, but I'd show you. I got this. The wheel stays until the end of the year, or until I run out of beans. So, but I am gonna be replacing the Pokemon card pack one for something else. I don't know what it's gonna be yet. Also, gotta get a screen back. I messed up everything in Extra Life, and I was like, oh. Well, I have to start the game. But I have to get something else ready to get going to. I'm mad? Thanks for the follow. I'm not saying as mad. I'm just saying it as a I'm lazy. Oh wait, no, that's ignore this. This was an old. This is an old. I'm just trying to get the. 'Cause, 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 No, 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 I'm not ending. I'm not ending. Like I said, this is an old screen anyways. Oh good, I have both of them here. I'm getting a backdrop for when I do open the game. As we discussed in my chat, in my stream, I should say, I am the most professional streamer that ever did occur. There, let's go. God. Ugh. I am professional. Don't worry about it. I just didn't want to care about much after when I was done with Actual Life this year because it was just like things didn't go well for me at the end, and so I now here to open the game. God damn it! Why is the game capture not working? Why are things broken? Oh, that's because I have it set to. It's because I have it set to Portal 2. Don't worry about that part. That goes. Bring that up so you don't have to see that. Now, no. I wouldn't consider this. I wouldn't consider this scruff. This is just unpreparedness, which is different than scruff. I would say unpreparedness is worse than. Excuse me. I would say unprepared is worse than scruff. Oh God, that was loud. For me, at least. Let's just start. And lab number 1. Yeah, this is really loud for me. Turn that down. What is that overly powering scent? I don't know, it smells kind of like eggs. Actually, because I know that in my house personally, someone's good boiling eggs. That's why it smells like eggs. It smells like flowers. I don't smell like flowers, so it's just eggs. Only eggs. Uncle Bad, is it? Is that Detective Bad and Kay over there? Looks like she managed to escape the bailiff. No, that's not quite it. Aw, too bad, but it's so pretty. I think you're still a bit too young to be wearing that. Look, I'm 25 and I still don't wear perfume. Since you found it, I guess. Yeah, I can let you keep it. Thanks! I'll treasure it always! Us two seem to get along rather well. Oh, here. I've got something else for you. Yes, thank you, Uncle Bad! Earlier, I ate one of these with gummy. Gummy? You mean gumshoe. Gummy is... He was really nice to me because I was gonna get in trouble. And then he got in trouble because because he lied to protect me. I know you didn't kill Daddy! Don't cry. Faraday would be sad if he saw you crying. Also, Francesca and Edgeworth are here, so therefore she would be breaking promise number 4? Never take things from strangers, never go anywhere with a stranger. a good idea to be going home for the time being? You're not involved in the investigation, so it's best if you do. Actually, I'm Uncle Bad's assistant. So I'm related to the investigation. Is that so, Detective Bad? Yeah, I guess. What? You were just scolding us like kids not to mess up the crime scene. And then you let this child run free? Why? People are free to investigate things outside the actual crime scene. You also had a few things you want to look into. Got a problem with that? I got a little bit of a problem that you're treating us like children. Even though only one of us is an actual child. I don't have a problem with that. But I am most curious into what Miss Hughes is looking into. Uncle Bad, I'm gonna look somewhere else now, okay? Alright. I'm counting on you. Oh, that's right. Hey, mister! Yes, what is it? I know Gummy isn't really the bad guy. I mean it. So please, find the real bad guy, okay? Won't forgive whoever did this. But in the absence of the perfect piece of testimony and evidence. There's no one who could be the true culprit than other than Detective Gumshoe. She wandered off while I was pondering. Alright. Wonderful, okay. Alright, Francesca, what you got? Yes, what is it? Notice anything? What is that smell that has permeated the air? It's sweet and flowery, although it has its strength. I'm likely to suffocate from it. I can't conduct an investigation under these circumstances. We need to open a window and air this room out. I demand that you open a window right now. Hurry! Francesca, one of the windows is already open. I can see that. I wonder. Is it just a coincidence that one of the windows in this room is already open too? Interesting. Where have I left off with I think this was the last thing I presented her. Scruffy's annual bonus envelope. What a useless piece of evidence. Oh yeah, we already listened to this. Yeah, well, obvious point aside, what do you think about the low amount of money? A pathetic amount for a pathetic detective. I think it rather suits him. But don't you think it's a bit too low even for an officer like him? By his pay, I can tell that he's a fool that I'd never trust anything to. A foolish fool like him would only polish my record with my foolishly foolish mistakes. Alright, this is when I made a reference to, I think it was, to Justice for All, just in general. Well, that's not that it matters. I'll never have to work with that pathetic fool anyways. Ah! What did I just say? Justice for all! That was a bit harsh even for you, Francesca. Says the guy who ends up being his main partner. Okay, so let's go to the fifth roll. Scruffy seems to have taken real liking to that little girl. Indeed, for him to cover for her to the point of taking the blame for the murders, despite only knowing her for a short period of time, he must be a frightfully big soft. Or maybe he's a fool. But I guess I can recognize his soft spot as one good point about him. Which means he's about as unlikable and thankless as a small child. Now in my mind. Oh come on, Gumshoe's a lovable dork. Okay, he's a lovable goofball. Okay, just like all detectives in Ace Attorney games. Which really means that your opinion on him hasn't changed a bit, has it? I was wondering what you think about this piece of evidence. Asking people for help is breaking the rules, Milo. I said earlier, this is a competition, a battle of wits. I was wondering what you think of this piece of evidence. I love how the first thing I do in every time. I love how also the first time, every time I get to investigation, the first thing I'm like, what do you think, my partner in crime? Well, not actual crime. We don't do crime. Absolutely never doing crime. Okay, maybe doing crime. It looks like some sort of exchange diary that girl shared with her father. We are alike, that girl and I, because they're both admirable prosecutors. We look up to our fathers. The only difference is that her father is now dead. Oh wait, this is like 7 years before before Turner Rekabai. So, my father, who is the anchor of my life, were to die. I don't know what I would do. I mean, you seem perfectly fine with it in Justice for All. You didn't give a shit about what happened to your dad. You cared what happened to Edgeworth. You needed to worry about that. Even if you were to be killed, but Mr. Von Karma's spirit would still go on living. Don't talk about Pablo just like he's some sort of ghost. That was supposed to be a compliment. I know sometimes evidence never leads to anything, but... What an incredibly strong scented herbal tea. I fear that more being relaxing that scent may actually take a bit heaty instead. You put in a special request for that. No wonder she's so violent. She's been drinking this stuff the whole time. Neither woman should be allowed to comment on that. Neither woman should be allowed to comment on this particular topic ever. Can I turn the TV on? This television is the same model as the one in Defendant Lobby number 2. Looks like the two rooms are basically the same terms in terms of layout and supply. Yes. The two rooms are basically the same. This decorated plant leaves are shinier than the ones on the plant in lobby number 2. It's probably because it isn't next to the window. It's probably because it's next to the windows where it can be easier to photosynthesize. You may be right. Plus, the curtains are always drawn in lobby number 2. The caretakers of this courthouse don't think enough about the plants, do they? That's because they're not the courthouse's caretakers, not a bunch of bonitias. That expensive painting is ill-suited to be hanging on the walls of this room. I wonder if a guard detail should be placed on it. Why do you say that? Well, a desperate, low-paid detective might want to take it with it. Might make off with it someday. You never know. She may be thinking about hiring a guard, but it's obvious she isn't factoring the guard's salary whatsoever. Oh, I'm free to examine wherever I want. Hell yeah, let's go to the defendant lobby number 2. I'll talk to you later. Let's head back out to these rooms here. Oh, we can even go to the courtroom too. Nice. Am I in the courtroom? Your Honor? Okay. Okay. Let's just start with the simple, obvious. If we were in defendant lobby number 1, let's talk to Detective Bad. I can see down the courthouse courtyard from here. What's that mess supposed to be? It's like an optical illusion. I believe it's supposed to be a postmodern design. More like thoughtlessness in design. I can't disagree there. Detective Bad, what exactly was Kay searching for? Nothing that concerns you, boy. Oh, and I suppose it has something to do with Kay? It does, because she's Faraday's daughter. Anyways, hurry up and get it to the point. I don't have time to waste. It sounds like you'd rather be left alone. I have something that I would like to confirm with you once again. I don't have anything to say to you. Be that as it may, we still have questions that we need answers to. Then, first of all, what is that overpowering smell that permeates this room? Upon entering this room, I thought I was going to suffocate. It's that ultra-strong perfume you wears. She spilled some of it. I was having a bad time of it myself. Whoa, dude looks like he's about to murder a man. I wonder why they call him Detective Bad. Actually, that wasn't a joke. I didn't think twice and opened the window. That smell still's here. Perfume, huh? The sweet scent in the air is perfume. Well, if it's giving off quite the stench, I bet it's some cheap no-name brand. She said, it's a famous brand from overseas. It's a knockoff. Yes, definitely a knockoff. No disrespect, but she forced it. She forced one of those bottles on me. Yeah, little girl, you can have it. I was born for much an expensive and refined perfume. However, seeing how you just happen to have a spare, I suppose I'll take it. Miles Edgeworth, you'll hold on to this bottle without fail. Why can't you ever be honest about what you want or wants? So now we have the perfume Miss Yu wears. Just fantastic. Is that all you wanted to talk about? If so, going back to investigating. Actually, I still have a few other things I wish to inquire about. I'm just gonna talk to him first, then we'll shove all the evidence in his room. So you were in this room the entire recess. Like I said, I made a call to the precinct to get that big look down here. But other than that, I was waiting for the recess to end in here. At least your story is consistent. Earlier, you stated that you were in the lobby. This lobby was Miss Yu. Yeah. I ran into her in the hallway. She said she wanted to talk to me about something, so we came out here. So we came in here. And what were you saying until Detective Gumshoe's arrival? You and Miss Yu were in 2 different locations. Yes, I am. Interesting. Speaking of that lawyer, she seems to have a great dislike for you. Oof. Let's see, Miss Yu is the sister of the victim of the KGA incident, and as I recall, Detective Bad was the lead detective in the case. I wonder if the reason for her distance isn't simply because you failed to guard Lucy, but because you were the lead detective on the case. You knew? I also know that today's trial involving the Kofan emissary staff member is being referred to as the second KG8 incident. Hold off, Edgeworth. He looks like... Now then, Detective, I believe it's time you were honest with me and tell me the truth behind your relationship with Miss Yu and Mr. Faraday and the KG8 incident. If you already know that much, I guess it'd be alright to tell you. Okay. Where did we leave off with evidence for him? I think it was here. I'd like to ask you about this piece of evidence. What a narcissist. Understood. Beginning. That sack has quite a history attached to it for me. I'm not sure I follow. Our recently departed Faraday loved the courthouse special Swiss rolls. And his daughter, Kay, also seems to have taken a liking to them. The three of us used to sit around eating them together. Aw, that sounds so cute! I guess that's why we wanted to get Detective Gumshoe into them too. It looks like look at the sticky situation that came out of that. Actually, the biggest reason for the sticky situation we found ourselves in are the absolute poverty of the scruff face and his necessarily tough-heartedness. Forgiving as always, I see. It's just as I said. I have nothing further to add. But if there's one thing a detective's honor is that, you must have confidence in and take responsibility for anything you say. That's what it means to be a detective. In other words, you're just another stubborn horse, aren't you, detective? Detective Bat, I would like to ask you about this piece of evidence. I thought he might have something to say about the promise journal. I'm not a big fan of perfume. No, I'm not either. It's expensive. So exactly what kind of a relationship do you have with Miss Yu? Like I told you, we're connected through the victim of the KG incident, her younger sister. I was supposed to protect her, but I failed in my duty. Just another pathetic detective. After that, Cochin's not guilty verdict sparked our pursuit of the case. Me as a detective, and she as a lawyer. In other words, they're still working together. Alright, that's all the evidence. Now then, I'd like to ask you a few questions about the KG8 incident. Not exactly a happy story. Other than the people who were directly involved, you two will be the first to hear what I'm about to tell. The honest truth behind the KG8 incident. Faraday, you and I, as you already know, the three of us were involved in the KG8 incident. Faraday and I were originally on the trail of the smuggling ring. You mean the smuggling case involving the Amano group's secretaries? That trial was just a front. A facade? Yeah. The case became tainted. All because the witness who was going to testify about the Amano group's ties to the smuggling ring, CCU, was killed. And what became of the secretary who was arrested? His name was Colin Devier. To be honest, the guy didn't know a thing about the smuggling ring. But he confessed to knowing about it anyways. Var was probably being intimidated by the big boss man. Just not a scapegoat. The boss man of the Amano group. He can't be serious. He can't seriously mean it. Ernest Amano. It was on the day the verdict the KG incident was handed down, was it not? Yes. Faraday and I, we apologized to her from the bottom of our hearts. It was all we could do. But just saying you're sorry won't bring my sister back, she said. And then she gave me a hard slap across the face. Well, she certainly had a lot of self-control to stop at just a slap. If it was me, none Not even 100 lashes would have been punishment enough. I suppose not. You said it herself. That she never wanted to see either of us ever again. But after that, you've seen her many times over, correct? Yeah. Faraday and I, even after the KGA incident had come to a close, we continued to hunt down the smuggling ring and got involved in various of cases. But it was no use. We cracked so many different cases, but the result was always the same. We couldn't find the real mastermind behind the ring. The ring. Is it really that big? It was the pursuit of the ring that we met you once again. It was during another trial related to the smuggling ring. Faraday was the prosecutor. I, the lead detective. As the lead detective, took to the witness stand. You. She appeared out of the blue as the defense attorney. Her client was related to the smuggling ring, and she was defending them? Yeah. You was pursuing the ring the best she could as a lawyer. I think she defended Real this time for the same reason. Come to think of it, Miss Yu did say something to the same effect. My own agenda. I'm still on the hunt for the ring. Alright. The only way I have to get close to his prayer was to be his lawyer. I had no intention of praying for him ever. So don't you dare suggest I was going to. It doesn't matter what her reason is. Helping a criminal is just deceivable. Despicable. You're so naive, little girl. I could have stolen this lollipop from you. That's how naive you are. How dare you insult the daughter of a Von Karma! Just like us, you felt that she had to hit the limit of what the law could do. That's all. The law is merely a tool. There's no limit to it. Only the skill of the craftsman. You too. You're still too young. One day, you'll know what I mean. But enough sidetracking. What matters is that we met you again in pursuit of the smuggling ring. That's all. So what's your relationship to Mr. Faraday? You even seem to know Kay fairly well. I met him when he was a rookie prosecutor. Known him ever since. And Kay, I've known her since the day she was born. Faraday and I, we cracked quite a few cases together. But you two seem to have made no progress at all in the Asagastro case. Did we touch a nerve? I only have one thing to say to you. No one knew more about the Asagastro than me and Faraday. That's why I was called upon to testify in today's trial, to prove that the real was not the real Asagastro, which I would have done, but he hadn't turned around and accused Faraday. After the accusation, I was asked to testify, but this time, to prove or disapprove the accusation. But I guess I won't be doing that either. I sense that there's more to that statement than meets the eye. Perhaps a bit more digging into the Asagastro is what's necessary. You claim to know much about the Asagastro. Would you care to share what you know with me? What you two should be looking for right now is proof of the murderous intent toward Faraday and Ray. I agree, which is exactly why I'm asking you about the Asagastro. What? The KGA incident and the second KGA incident. Most of these cases are tied to the smuggling ring. And in both of these cases, the witness who was to testify about the ring was murdered. However, there is one point in which they differ, and that is the presence or absence of the great thief Yasagasaru. Mr. Real claimed to be the Yasagasaru, and however, in the middle of the trial, he suddenly declared Mr. Faraday to be the real Yasagasaru. Then, during the recess, they were both killed. Don't you find that to be the least a bit odd? Sir Miles Edgeworth, stop beating around the bush and just spit it out already! I believe that there must be some reason to that. The two men suspected of being the Yasagasaru were both killed at the same time. A reason? Huh. And so in order to catch Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rail's cold-blooded killer, I feel that I need to learn as much as I can about the Yasagasaru. If that will help you solve this case. Then I'll tell you. I'll tell you the reason why we never caught the Yasagasaru. What was that sudden outburst for? You almost made me whip you by accident. No! Why hit me? It still accidentally whipped me anyways. There's three main reasons why the Yasagasaru will always be one step ahead. First, the Yasagasaru always knows the exact location of the target object. Second, the Yasagasaru always knows exactly how to disarm the security system. Third, the Yasagasaru doesn't leave a single thread of evidence behind. Ever. I see. So those are the Yasagasaru's special traits. Sounds like an incredibly elusive thief. Yasagasaru has never been caught on tape. Never tries to draw anyone's attention. And would never do something as lowbrow as commit a murder. That's how I knew that Rail wasn't the real Yasagasaru right away. You can't use that sort of logic on its own to prove that he wasn't. Listen, little girl. I'm not done talking. What's the difference about this time was the evidence related to the smuggling ring. It was sent to the police, and the sender was none other than the one who infiltrated the Kofinian embassy, the Yasagasaru. The Yasagasaru sent the evidence. Until now, the Yasagasaru would always publicize any corrupt dealings through the mass media. But not this time. The evidence this time was something only Faraday and I, and select few others knew about. In that case, how can you be so sure that it was the Yasagasaru who sent it? That's easy. A special card that only the Yasagasaru uses was a tag. That's how I can be so sure. And just what sort of card is it? Here, take a look at this article. Whenever the Yasagasaru wants to publicize something, a white card is sent along with the stolen information. But when we questioned Rail about what he sent along with the white card, Rail had no idea what it was. So that's how Detective Bad knew that Mr. Rail was the phony. Thank you very much. I have a much better understanding of the Yasagasaru now. Excuse me, Mr. Edgeworth? Yes? His Honor would like to transfer the evidence from today's trial over to you. So if you could please head over to the courtroom, it would be much appreciated, sir. Understood. I'll be there shortly. Detective Bad, what does the law mean to you? Finding the answer to that question is the only reason I'm still alive. I became a prosecutor to find the answer to that question myself, and to play a part in ensuring that all criminals everywhere are found guilty. District Court number 3. Oh, it's you, Mr. Edgeworth. Sigh. Why are you so sad? Your Honor! It appears that His Honor is still a bit dispirited. For the first time today, I experienced what it's like to stand out the witness stand. Now I have a greater appreciation for just how hard it is to give testimony. Well, there's no reason for you to be all depressed about it, Your Honor. As a judge, no one expects you to think about anything other than the verdict. Francesca, there's no need to further depress Your Honor. His Honor. But I'm not trying to, Miles. Your Honor. Your Honor, I've come to collect the evidence that was to be transferred to me. Your Honor, the evidence. Your Honor! Oh! You! Yes, can I help you? Your Honor! I'd like to collect the evidence now, sir. Your Honor. Do you think you can stay focused long enough at least do your job? But yes, I'm sorry. I would accept that the defense attorney has yet to arrive. She's busy with the investigation. So let's keep this brief, shall we? Very well. In that case, please confirm all the pieces of evidence that are present. Furthermore, the evidence that was used for the murders of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rail are also included, so please go ahead and use them to your investigation in your case. Understood, Your Honor. Pieces of evidence that were used in the murder of those two men. This could be a very good chance for me to find you leads regarding their case. And maybe even something that will finally lead me to the truth. I have placed all the evidence over on the prosecutor's bench for you. I see. Thank you very much. I'll go and confirm that they're all accounted for. Wait, hold on. We have more. It looks like your debut trial frizzled out thanks to being declared a mistrial. Too bad. But now you can take your time editing the evidence they transferred to you. Goodbye. It's too much early to achieve the pieces were given to me. Oh, how do you figure? 2 of the pieces were used to kill Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rare. Naturally, having all of them makes it easier for me to examine them more thoroughly. Yes, of course. Don't tell me. You forgot about that fact, didn't you, Francesca? No, I don't have to answer the characteristically foolish question of a foolish fool. Now hurry up and check the evidence already. Trust me, I will. In due time. What do you think about her perfume? I have no interest in that perfume or in that woman. Then why do we have it, Francesca? Here we are trying to be serious and all she does is break out into laughter. It's borderline rude. Francesca seems to be hold some ill will towards against Miss Yu. Although, between the whipping at people all the time and laughing when people are being serious, yeah, I'd rather the laughing. I'm not sure which one I find more annoying. I think Francesca's whipping people is a bit more of a problem. Just saying. Just saying. Dak! You weren't thinking something bad about me, just weren't you? I take that back. Miss Yu is slightly more annoying due to the lack of physical pain. Yeah, Miss Yu gives the... Yeah, Francesca is the physical pain, but Yu's the psychological. But I saw... Is everybody still where they were? Because this is... Okay, let's talk to Kay. Oh, sorry, mister. I'm a little busy right now. Doing what? Well, I'm looking for something. Uncle Bad told me to do, so that's what I'm going to do. Let's go. I don't want to interfere with this girl. Lest the detective Bad get angry. Yes, agreed. Okay, no one's in here anymore. It took the bodies away! Fuck! I wanted to talk to Miss Yu, but I can't now! Guess let's look at the evidence. What's this here? Oh, whoa. Evidence that Miss Yu prepared is sitting here on the table. you can't just walk off with it, right? Of course I do. You must have been caught off guard when her client suddenly occurred. I wonder how she would have defended Miss Earl in that case if he was still alive. This is the evidence related to today's coherent adversary trial from Mr. Fairbank's bag. You mean the evidence bag that was on the table lobby number 2, right? Yes. Finally, we can now take a look at the evidence itself, not just the data about them. Let's be sure to thoroughly examine them while we have the time. Agreed. I want to take a good look at all the evidence from the adversary murder, too. And why is that? Because I still don't fully understand what today's trial was about. Yeah! Don't point your crap at me just because you don't know something. And then you tried to order me around just because Papa chose you today. I see someone's still sore about not being picked by Mr. Von Karma. So it all is so real to see this knife up close. So we have the knife, the gun, and an envelope. And what's this organizer doing here? Oh, that's right. I completely forgot to tell you. About what, Your Honor? They found Mr. Faraday's personal organizer inside that evidence bag of his. Text bag requested to be passed along to you. He said it would help in the investigation. Detective Bad said that? What a strange stroke of luck. I'll never look a gift horse in the mouth. We might as well flip through it too. I won't rest until I've inspected every niche. And start with the gun. This gun. It was originally used to kill the California embassy member. When the crime was reported, the responding police still have found Mr. Rail still holding it, which was led him to his immediate arrest. And then the gun that took the original shooter's life. How ironic. Indeed. There doesn't seem to be anything else we can learn from this piece of evidence. The knife that was used to kill Mr. Faraday. Who would have thought that a beautiful... Who would have thought that such a beautiful... I'm sorry, I'm tired. Like I said, I'm still kind of in recovery mood from extra life. Could be used for such a cruel act. And yet, it never crossed your mind that you're using your writing crop for the wrong purpose. Let's do the envelope first. I took a quick look through these documents before the trial started. Well, I wasn't even offered the opportunity to skip. I suppose I should explain it to you then. Yes, you should. Perfectly and in entirety, if you please. On the night of September 8th, an embassy staff was killed in front of the embassy. That staff member died of shock due to being shot in the heart. Mackerel was brought in that night as a suspect and thoroughly questioned, because the murder weapon was found on him, for which he was arrested on the spot. A simpleton of a man that he was. Perhaps he was, for the weapon wasn't only the only incriminating evidence we had. Sorrell was caught in the act of on the film by a security camera. He was even a bigger simpleton than I thought. I can't believe he didn't notice a security camera. The corporate adversary security system is supposedly very well designed. He may have simply not been aware that there was a camera in the area. So have you seen the contents of the video for yourself? Yes, the surveillance video security camera took was played during the trial by Mr. Faraday. You can clearly identify Mr. Railon. Even the sound of the gunshot was crystal clear. So the footage included sound, huh? I don't think I ever want to see the moment of someone's death in real life. Me neither. Well, I mean, to be fair, he was passed out, so. Mr. Faraday's organizer. It appears he was in the habit of using it. It looks like he wrote his strategy for getting Mr. Rail convicted down here. I've collected the evidence I needed to prove that Rail was the killer. Between the handgun had and when he was arrested in the surveillance tape, I should be able to prove that he was only the one. If that Mr. Faraday would honestly believe that Mr. Rail was the killer of the case. The sound of his handgun going off it was recorded with superb clarity as a surveillance video. I also have evidence that I can use to prove that Rail was not the real gasser. It would also appear that he had proof that Mr. Rail was not the real gasser. No matter how he may try to play it, as long as I have the gasser key, I can prove he's a phony. If I present it to him in court, it should clear everything up. It's been a long battle. I hope this will finally bring an end to it. Yes, I believe that Mr. Faraday was very well prepared to dispute any claim that Mr. Rail may have made about being the real gasser. And he had a way to prove that Mr. Rail was the guilty party in the emissary murder. This organizer is the clue straight from Mr. Faraday. I'll take my time to give it a thorough read later. Look, there's a picture stuck between the pages here. It appears to be a key, and a rather ordinary one. Just look at the design on this handle. The craftsmanship is superb. Could this be the gasser's key Mr. Faraday mentioned in his organizer? Gasser's key? Detective Bad said something earlier. What's the evidence related to the smuggling ring? Was the sent to the police, and the sender was none other than the one who infiltrated an emissary, the gasser. The gasser sent the evidence. Until now, the gasser would always publicize any corrupt dealings through the mass media, but not this time. The evidence this time was something only Faraday and I, and a select few others knew about. Mr. Faraday must have been trying to keep the secret key safe. As a prosecutor on both the gasser and the smuggling ring cases, that's to be expected. That's odd. What is it? Mr. Faraday didn't mention anything about a knife in his organizer. That certainly is odd. The weapon that was used to kill the corporate emissary staff member was the gun. But if that's the case, then where did the knife that was used to murder Mr. Faraday come from? Isn't it obvious? It was brought into the courthouse by Mr. Rail. That's the only logical conclusion, right? Nope. Because that's not easy. It's not easy to smuggle a weapon like that in here. Every person who enters the courthouse door is checked thoroughly for contraband. Furthermore, the suspect was handcuffed, making it impossible for him to bring a knife as large as this one inside. In that case, how do you suppose the knife ended up in the courthouse? I need to think carefully here. There's nothing related to the knife written anywhere on Mr. Faraday's organizer. However, it's a fact that this knife came from Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. Supposedly, there's one item listed in Mr. Faraday's organizer that no one has claimed to see today. The knife is the key, isn't it? So in order to solve this mystery, I believe I will need to take another good look at the evidence. Miles Edgeworth, can I take the fact that you have yet to answer me to mean that you don't have an answer for me? Actually, I do know the answer, Francesca. What? What is it? One of these pieces of evidence we've been holding is having a secret of its own. And it's through this piece of evidence that this knife was brought into the courthouse. This gasser key Mr. Faraday mentioned in his organizer. This is how the knife was brought into the courthouse. You're not making any sense, Miles Edgeworth. You just need to look at it a bit closer, Francesca, to see what I mean. Does the color and the ornamental of the key handle remind you of anything? They do remind me of the knife. Very good. Both the Yasagazu key in the photo and the murderous knife have this very unique design in their handles. Furthermore, even though Mr. Faraday mentioned the Yasagazu key, the only object we found at the crime scene was the knife. You don't seriously mean to say! It appears that you finally caught up. And yes, I do mean to say that these two pieces are in fact one and the same. But that's impossible! Even if that's what we believe, we should still investigate this properly. Now then, let us examine this knife with a little more detail. The weapon that was used to kill Mr. Faraday, the handle has supposed to have been beautiful design work into them. Like there's the evidence of flower-shaped design in the gold touching here. That has been used for a tool for murder I wanted for myself. He seems to be drawn to the embellishment. Too bad this isn't mine to give. I can't believe it turned into a key. I think there was such a trick to this thing. So the weapon used to kill Mr. Faraday is actually the key the Yasagasu is still. This piece of information is more critical than anything we've learned up till now. Frankly, I'm shocked. Mr. Faraday only mentioned the key aspect of this piece in the evidence in his organizer. It's possible that he even had no idea the key was hiding a knife blade inside. But if that's true, only someone who knew about the key to the knife trick could have killed Mr. Faraday! Even among law enforcement, this key was top secret. We're looking for someone who knew even more about the keys than Mr. Faraday. Meaning that the only person it has to be is the one who sent the key in the first place. The great thief Yasagasu. Then maybe Mr. Rail really was the Yasagasu, and he was the one who killed Mr. Faraday. Isn't that one possible scenario? No, not really. Especially since Mr. Faraday died immediately! Was absolutely convinced that Mr. Rail was not the Yasagasu. Besides, as Detective Bad said earlier. But when we questioned if Rail had sent him along with the white card, Rail had no idea what it was. Alright then, I guess the person who knows the trick behind this key is someone else, and that person is the real Yasagasu. It seems that this key is truly the key to solving this case. That's odd. We're sure one piece is of evidence. The piece that's missing is the surveillance video that was played in court. Surveillance video? How could a piece of evidence just disappear? Where did it go? The video showing the moment which Mr. Rail committed the murder. Where could it have gone, indeed? Are you done with your inspection of the evidence? Yes, I'm about finished. However, Your Honor, I'm missing a single piece of prosecutorial evidence. Your Honor, where do you direct in your duties? What? No, I dare not lick my duties. What do you take me for? I do not lick my duties. No, Your Honor, the most piece of evidence, the important piece of evidence in today's trial, the surveillance video, is not amongst the evidence you laid out for me. I dare not lick my duties. Oh, that's a good line. But I brought Mr. Faraday's whole bag with me from the crime scene. Maybe the tape is still somewhere in that crime scene. something wrong here. Something about this missing piece about me. It appears that for me to find the answers I seek, I will have to pay another visit to the scene of the crime. Defendant lobby number 2. September 10th, 6 p.m. Who the fuck is this guy? That's Detective Bad. But who is he with? I've never seen that officer before. It's Sheila! Oh my gosh, I didn't think we'd see him in this episode. No, not yet. I've looked everywhere. I see. Well then, please continue with the search. Understood. I'll continue the search. Heh! So you're the one running this show. Prosecutors like you shouldn't be allowed at the crime scenes. Yep, definitely Lang. Definitely Lang. How dare you! Just who do you think you are? Doesn't even say his name, but the music gave it away. Love that man! What was that all about? And who was that man just now? His name is Xing Lang, and he hates your guts simply because you're a prosecutor. Whoever he was, I never seen a more impotent officer in my life. Does he even know we're standing right behind him here? We're here behind him. I know you're standing right behind me. What do you want, kids? So we're back to getting called kids, huh? Looks like you're paying attention after all. Of course I was. I have eyes in the back of my head. So that mirror isn't for fantasy sakes. It's for him to keep an eye on who or what is behind him at all times. So tell me, Detective Bad, who was that rude man just now? The guy who came here from the Republic of Shi'Elam to study. He's Agent Lang. Love that man! Love that boy! He's trying everything he can to revive the lost honor of his family. I will help him! For my name isn't Miles Edgeworth! And I am being controlled by a girl who loves him. He's traveling the world to study different philosophies of decontamination from scratch. By visiting various police departments around the world, it's a lot of dedication. He's still just a rookie cop, but I sense a strong grudge of some sort from him. Weren't you not listening to him? It's a grudge against prosecutors, like me. Okay? I don't want my man to have a grudge against me. Oh, wait, no, I can't say that yet. Part 2 of the election battle hasn't come out yet. I was gonna spoil it. Yeah. More useful than Gumshoe. Even if he is rude. Well, he sure has a lot of guts coming into this country and giving prosecutors a hard time. I agree. However, how can I make... I think I can think of one lady that statement applies to. And she's standing right next to me. Anyways, what was that agent looking for, Detective Bad? Earlier, that little girl was poking around lobby number 1 as well. Like I said before, it's nothing to do with the two of you. I highly doubt that it has nothing to do with me. Fine. If it's the game I must play, then I will take this opportunity to draw out what he's been hiding in this room straight from him. No time. Earlier, you were in lobby number 1, and you're in lobby number 2. You're quite the busy man, Detective Bad. Multiple returns to a crime scene brings about success. That's what we detectives say. I see. In that case, you wouldn't mind if I asked you about what happened again, correct? I don't have anything left to say to you, boy. boy. Yeah, boy! You'll see! I will draw my answer from you one way or another! Would it kill you to help us even a tiny bit in our investigation? I gave Faraday's notebook to the judge earlier. It helped enough, don't you think? Please, we're asking you for just a bit more of your cooperation. Don't push me, kid. I'd like to ask you once again about what happened around the time of the crime. I refuse to answer. Any more investigation you do will be a waste of time. Besides, how am I supposed to answer questions about things I don't know about? Things you don't know about? But aren't you supposed to know everything? You should. Wait, is it possible that maybe he doesn't know about the trick behind the piece of evidence? I should try showing it to him. Maybe it'll prove that he was getting some new answers from Detective Bad. Faraday. Sounds like you lost someone close to you. He was a battle buddy. We fought through a lot together. A boy with a silver spoon in his mouth couldn't understand society dark underbelly. Although honestly, I suppose he's right. I don't have anyone I relate to in that way. Well, it's not as though I long for someone like that. Nor am I good at getting close. Detective Bad? Did you know of this existence of this item in this photograph? Of course I did. It's my job to know everything related to the Yasagasa case. In that case, let me ask you something. Did you know about the knife that killed Mr. Faraday and this Yasagasa keys are one and the same? What? That's impossible! It looks like you didn't know after all. This piece of evidence, which we call the Yasagasa key, is actually a well-camouflaged knife. Mr. Faraday was planning to use this Yasagasa key to prove that Mr. Rail was not the real Yasagasa. Isn't that correct? I guess so. However, Mr. Faraday had no idea that, it was in fact a knife. Yeah, I have to admit, neither of us knew that fact. If neither of us knew, then no one in the law enforcement knew either. She had something she wanted to talk to me about. And we walked into lobby number 1 together. That's all. But his answer remains the same as before, I see. We were talking about a trivial thing. I'm tired, I'm sorry. I was hoping you could expand on what exactly you were discussing with Miss Yu. Trivial stuff. There's nothing important. That's for me to decide. Alright, I suppose that was for him to decide. Moving on then. I heard the gunshot right before the trial was supposed to reconvene. And hear any strange sound until the gunshot. The gunshot Detective Bad heard was really from the one from the murder. That would give another piece of evidence an entirely different meaning. I ask that you please amend your testimony with that just now. Sure. I didn't hear any other strange sounds until that gunshot. Detective Bad, you honestly don't remember hearing anything else? Yeah. Is it possible that you were also involved in your conversation? So involved in your conversation that you missed something? I've been detecting for a long time. Not even if I was involved in something. I got quite a habit of keeping tabs on everything that goes on around me. If there has been some of the sorts of strange sound, you can be sure I would have heard of it. Suppose this detective is probably very likely. So, the gunshot. When we heard it, you and I immediately dashed out into the hallway together. Why did the two of you dash out? And why did the two of you dash out into the hallway straight away? Because we clearly heard the sound of a gunshot. And we knew it came from somewhere nearby. How did you know that it was a gunshot? In my line of work, you hear enough of them to know. I suppose it's only natural for a detective to know what a real gunshot sounds like. given the circumstances, the only person whose life I would have been in danger was the Faraday. So I ran into the hallway right away and headed wherever he was. I saw Gumshoe goofing around there, and when Detective Gumshoe was there in the hallway. Yeah. And why didn't you test that earlier? When I saw Gumshoe, it was after I heard the gunshot. Having seen him then didn't change the fact that he still could have done the deed. Yeah! Sounds exactly what like the Pep. However, there's something in particular we should be asking the detective about. Just might be. No one knew about the knife actually the Astrogaster key. Reflecting on that, perhaps there's a... Yes, that's the angle of attack. Objection! Detective Bad, does this balloon fragment remind you of anything? It's the same color as the one Kay was holding. Oh, so you knew about that girl's balloon? Yeah, I was sitting with her up in the gallery. During the recess, just before we split up, I filled that balloon for her. Well, as you may have already submersed, this piece indeed did come from Kay's balloon. So, what about the balloon? I wonder if you might remember hearing a balloon pop at some point. What are you getting at? This fragment was found in the hallway right in front of lobby number 2. Furthermore, it was the sound of this balloon popping that the judge mistook as a gunshot. Oh, so the sound of that judge heard is not actually a gunshot, huh? On top of that, his honor said that he heard the balloon pop about 20 minutes before the trial was to reconvene. Yes, it means his honor heard the balloon pop in the hallway. When you were in lobby number 1, Detective Bad, and if you were in lobby number 1 at the time, you were close enough that you should have heard the balloon popping as well. So? What? Don't give me a so! You just proved that there was a flaw in your testimony! The cracking of the truth is louder than the sound of your sweet naive cracking. And since you kids don't seem to know, let me fill you in on something. Did it ever stop you to think why the doors and walls of this place seem so rugged? It's because they were designed to keep secrets from being leaked. Well, what is that supposed to mean? The doors and the walls are super thick. The panes are double layered. On top of all of that, even the curtains are made of a special sound-absorbing material. Then you mean... Since I was shut up inside lobby number 1, there was no way I could have heard that sound. No! Grr! I knew that was what he was going to say. That means that the scruffy-faced testimony is completely useless. If the rooms are soundproof, then of course he wouldn't hear any signs of a struggle. Whew! That's also why it's only natural that I didn't hear the balloon popping. Now do you get it, kids? Miles, I thought we were supposed to be the ones finding flaws in his logic! Not the other way around! The other way around? When in doubt, turn it upside down! It's not possible to hear the sound of the balloon popping if one were in lobby number 1. However, if we examine the situation in reverse, a person standing in the hallway should not be able to hear the real gunshot either. And yet, Detective Gumshoe claims to have heard it while he was standing in the hallway. Detective Bad, if that's the case, how exactly did you hear the gunshot? What do you mean? How? You just did. It would appear that you have yet to realize the contradiction in your own words. Oh, how so? If the rooms are soundproof as you say they are, then how does the sound of the gunshot enter your ears? I see what you mean. I guess I'm more out of it from Faraday's murders than I thought. Which means what exactly? Miles, in the end, what does it all boil down to? It boils down to this. There must be a reason. And how Detective Bad Bat and Gumshoe heard gunshot that they theoretically couldn't have. It looks like we need to examine the state of the crime scene again, huh? State of the crime scene. Wait! Can it be? There's that ultra strong perfume you wears. She spilled some of it. Yeah! And way too noisy. Kill this video. How could a piece of evidence just disappear? Where did it go? It's simply not possible for the killer to have escaped through the barred windows, and yet the fragrance of perfume managed to escape from defendant number 1. Of course, inconceivable things move freely through these open barred windows. Obviously! Damn it. Now then, what else besides the smell can go in and out an open barred window? The answer is sound. No matter how careful the killer was, if the window were open, the jig would be up. And since the window in both the defendant lobby number 1 and the hallway were open, that explains how the sound of a gunshot could be heard in both locations. The missing piece of evidence is a video that shows the moment which Mr. Rail killed the emissary staff member. The sound of the gunshot left quite an impression on me when it was played during the trial. The video should have been returned to Mr. Faraday's evidence bag for recess and brought back here. If it disappeared after that time, then it's possible that the tape is still here in this room. Eureka! That is the evidence of the evidence that the missing evidence created from me. It's the gunshot sound that no one should have been able to hear in the first place. Miles, what have you been thinking about? Logic and reasoning. Stop wasting time thinking and let's start looking again. It's not a waste of time to think as I figure out where we should look. And where should that be? I believe we should examine the television. The TV. Well, you kids have fun. Go ahead and examine whatever you like. I won't rest until I inspected every suspicious thing you grant me. The window is open wide. The scent of flowers is being blown in from outside. I think it softens the heavy air in here somewhat. Windows in both lobby number 1 and 2 are open. Maybe they were trying to air out the room just like in the lobby number 1. Or maybe they thought it would ease some tension from the fresh air. With Mr. Faraday and Mr. Braille in the same room, I imagine the latter being the case. But was there really a need to open the window just for that? Video player, and there seems to be a video tape inside. It looks like it. The tape must have stopped on its own when it reached the end. The tape. Could it not be the missing surveillance tape? I suppose, but Detective Bad, would it be alright with you if I verify the contents of this video? Sure. Knock yourself out. Alright then, let's rewind this and see what we have. If I remember correctly, the footage of Rail's killing an emissary staff member should be at about the 30-minute mark from the start of the tape. Understood. This should be about right. Now let's see. This is the footage of Mr. Rail shooting the emissary staff member. I knew it. The missing piece of evidence, the surveillance camera, was here all along. This sound. What's the meaning of this? It appears that our detective Ben has figured out the true source of the gunshot he heard. With this, I think we can figure out the trick behind this double murder. you mean that you figured it all out then? Yes. All I have to do now is show what the gunshot detected bad gumshoe heard was, and saw where they came from. Nyeh. Fine, if that's the case, then show me what you discussed. Let's show what the gunshot detected gumshoe heard was, and through where they heard it from. Oh. I did the right evidence, just I wasn't far down enough. So much evidence. Um. Um. They should have been able to hear it from both the windows. If the door and the window to the crime scene were namely this room that we were in closed, the killer could have used the gun. And no one would have been wiser. That's true. This courthouse does seem to be well designed for such a thing, as it were. However, what happened in reality was Detective Gumshoe, Detective Bad, and Miss Yu, all three of them heard the gunshot. Well, the windows in lobby number 1 and 2 in the hallway were open. Naturally, and the people in those locations could hear it. But then why would the criminal open the window in the first place? To allow the gunshot to be heard, I suppose? Correct. That's the only logical conclusion we can draw from this. But why would that be necessary in the first place? I want a real answer, Miles. I demand satisfaction. Very well. I do believe that the killer wanted to manipulate our perception of fact. What was the manipulator killer of? Would it be the crime scene? The killer wanted to manipulate our thoughts in regarding the real crime scene. So you're suggesting that the killing really took place in a different location? Yes. In that case, would you care to explain it to me somehow? Was able to carry two adult adult male bodies all the way through here without anyone noticing? Furthermore, given that scruffy space was in the hallway the entire time, I believe you're just created your own contradiction, Miles. Yes! Well, it's a mistake. The killer wanted to fabricate the time with us to their precise wishes, and they used that gunshot in the surveillance video to do so. That's why the tape was left running. You mean the gunshot I heard was from this video? Yes, which means the murder really occurred at an earlier time than we thought. It must have been during the recess, but before Detective Gumshoe was on guard duty. Someone who had no alibi for that time period and planned this crime out in advance, so that the person that person's the real killer. Nailed it. Wonderful. Mr. Edgeworth! Yes, what is it? Miss Yu is asking for you. She's in the courtroom. She says that she's identified the murderer, but she wants to clarify something. It looks like Miss Yu is still investigating something. Understood. Please tell her that I will be right over. I'll come along. I want to hear what she has to say. It appears that their time has come to uncover the truth. To be continued on Thursday. This is where we're ending for today. I'm ending for today. So I thank you all for coming. Hold on, I'm saving. I don't have to do this again. I want to thank you all for coming and enjoying the back to normality. Kind of, most like, sort of. That's kind of what it is. This is kind of our back to normality. But here's the thing: I gotta find someone. I'm gonna try to find someone to read, if I can. That is. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy it. It's nice to be back to the normality. Okay, let me look at my fellow notes, because I swear to God, if I don't have anybody to read, that's gonna be sad. I do have a raid card. Actually, I just want to make sure she's not in. Can I make sure she's not in? It doesn't look like she's ending. So, we are sending the raid over to Celebu. So, and I hope you guys enjoy. And I'll see you guys, like I said, I'll see you guys Thursday for some more Ace Attorney investigations. So I'll see you guys in a quick goodbye from me, Nova. I'm not zooming out, I'm sorry, so bye.